We went to go get an ultrasound. The ultrasound tech, you can kind of tell, by his demeanor and his change of the way he was acting, that something was a little off, different. Something was a little different.
Yeah, we were kind of asking him some questions, and he was really, really tight-lipped. And then he said, "Oh, you gotta ask the doctor."
He had a broken femur, and they even told us that he had extra toes and extra fingers. He wouldn't make it past the pregnancy, and if he did, once he was born, that he wouldn't be able to breathe on his own.
There's this immediate feeling of hopelessness, and I'm like, "Oh God, you don't make mistakes. Like we know that." We know that if there's a life that you breathed in, that's in my wife's womb, that there's a purpose here. There's a plan. There's something that is formulating.
They said there's no way this baby's gonna make it, and they said that if I did, that it wouldn't be for very long because my ribs wouldn't be able to support my lungs. They were that fragile. You need to abort this baby. He's not gonna make it. But my parents, they were obedient to the Lord. They knew it was in His hands. They went to their pastor. They prayed together, and in the moment of prayer, God told them that I had a calling over my life, and that I was going to make it, that I was going to make it past birth. And sure enough, I made it past birth. 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each foot. My ribs were supporting my lungs.
He's gone through over 30 surgeries, and I think as far as the broken bones...
He's had over 300.
Probably close to that.
I have to be extremely cautious, but I don't live in fear, because I know God's got me.
He has every reason to feel upset, depressed. He can't walk, and for a long time before he got his wheelchair, he couldn't go places, he couldn't do the things he wanted to do, but he would still be fine, and he would still be smiling, he would still be singing.
My parents always told me, there's nothing stopping you. There's nothing stopping you. God has a plan for you, and you don't have any limits. Don't limit yourself. And they always told me to just keep trusting in God, asking Him for guidance, and you're gonna be able to do what you want to do. I always wanted to sing, and I loved, worship. I loved worshiping God. I loved singing worship. Singing for the Lord is so different because when you're in the Spirit, it's like no one else is there, just you and God. You're worshiping the King of Kings, who is on the throne, and it is a very powerful thing, and God's gonna move in a way that only He can. You gotta trust that when you're worshiping.
We've never discouraged him from doing anything, but I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, I don't know if they're gonna want you on the worship team or to lead worship, right? Because I wasn't sure. I really cast that thought out of my head. I'm like, no, this is God's will, this is God's plan of whatever He wants to do. And then all of a sudden, he's leading worship, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I've seen God come through in his life the whole way leading up. But that was like, okay, Lord, this was your plan. And just seeing everything that God's been taking him to now. Because I don't just see the moment of him singing and leading worship. I see everything that led up to get him to where he is now. And it's an overwhelming joy.
God used me, I got to share my testimony, and now I lead worship. I posted that video actually of me leading worship for the first time, and then I think overnight, it literally had like 1 million views, just overnight. And I was like, all right, Lord, I could see this is where you want me right now. And then I guess Pastor Craig saw the video, and he really wanted to get me out to Lakewood to lead worship. I was like, wait, is this like the Lakewood in Houston, Texas, Lakewood? Or like Pastor Joel Osteen's church, Lakewood? And at first it was like, okay, how do we know this is real, right?
It can only be God. Yeah. That the largest church in the nation God would start it there, right? And then how much further would He go? My whole family listens to Pastor Joel. And he's got them through the hardest times in their lives. Every time we hear his message, we walk away inspired.
God never said that life is going to be easy, but you can trust in the fact that He is watching over you, and He plans to use every single thing for good, every single trial, every single season.
I definitely believe He's destined for fivefold ministry, and He pastors people, and He even counsels us. And the thing is I receive it as almost, as someone of authority that's actually speaking over my life. Makes me the proudest dad ever to know that he actually has that strong relationship with God, that He even speaks into my life.
Just be ready for God to use you. Just pray that He uses you and that you are just surrendered fully to Him, and that there's nothing on your mind but His goodness and who He is and just His greatness.
Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand when everything around me is shaking. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, 'cause He's never let me down. He's faithful to generation, so why would He fail now? He won't. He won't. I still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense, so I won't be going under. I'm not held by my own strength, 'cause I built my life on Jesus, and He's never let me down. He's faithful in every season, so why would He fail now? He won't. He won't. He won't fail. He won't fail. Rain came, wind blew, but my house was built on you. I'm safe with you. I'm gonna make it through. Rain came, wind blew, but my house was built on you. I'm safe with you. I'm gonna make it through. Oh, I'm gonna make it through, 'cause I'm standing strong on you. Yeah, I'm gonna make it through, 'cause my house is built on you. Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand when everything around me is shaking. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, 'cause He's never let me down. He's faithful to generation, so why would He fail now? He won't. He won't. He won't fail. He won't fail. He won't.
Come on. Give the Lord a big hand clap. Welcome all of our special needs families from the Champions Club up here. They stand on a firm foundation. This is Isaac's family. Stand behind him. And they're all the way from San Jose, California. And Isaac, man, you're an inspiration. You know, I've never seen a young man in a wheelchair lead worship. And there are going to be thousands that are going to watch this that have disabilities and go, if Isaac could do it, I could do it. And man, you can sing, bro. You have talent, it's beautiful, but you love the Lord. Man, there are so many people maybe out there facing some impossible situations in their life, but you've shown the impossible is possible. Just encourage them real quick, Isaac.
I just want to say that I'm not here by my own strength or by who I am. It's by who He is and what He can do and His nature. He's the King of Kings and He deserves all praise, glory, and honor. I don't know what season of life you're in, but I promise you, God is right there with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. If you make Him your firm foundation, you will get through that season you're in. And He is going to work everything together for good and His glory.
Woo! He can also preach. Come on, give Him a big hand one more time. Tell Him how much we love Him, Lakewood. God bless you. You may be seated. God bless you.